Testing. Test. It's a little better. All right, the shift. I pulled cards. I sat there and focused off screen so I didn't have a distraction. I got the Ten of Cups, the High Priestess, and the Two of Cups. And I was focused on, is the shift really happening? And it's happy family and surroundings, the new beginning, the right path, the peaceful phase, and the goal is near. The High Priestess, something important, good things coming, good times ahead, trust your instinct, the fresh start, the new beginning, the new moon. The Two of Cups is a new connections, release the past, and a unity agreement, which I found fascinating because I believe we all have soul contracts coming into this. Friendship and playtime, which also makes beautiful sense. Making a decision, what you believe in, sticking with it, setting your sights higher than what you know, knowing it's a blessed change, and paying attention. This is absolutely 100% contemplation time, and we can thank COVID for that we got a chance to be inward and hang out with our family and focus on things that are much more important than just a job. And this one got me a little emotional because even though I know I've done a lot of my inner work and will continue to do so, worthiness is so important. And if you're going to be afraid of how things are about to turn out or not. Now, nobody knows for sure if the shift is happening. We're just following our intuition. We've heard things like this for a very long time. 2087, the harmonic conversion, and then 2000, there was doomsdayers thinking binary was going to mess up all the computers and wipe out life. And then 2012, of course, was a big thing. And in my research that I've been dedicated to since 2006, it's a long count calendar, and that ending is now this December, not that December. That was the beginning of the end. This is the end of the end, so to speak, but it's not an end. It's a transferring to a new reality, to a higher dimension, to a better way of living, a better life. And a lot of people who are in the know very much take comfort in it just being a mental or a spiritual shift, while others of us are beginning to lean towards the fact that there will be Mother Gaia soul leaving this planet and going to another planet, Nova Gaia, that human coined, Nova Gaia, to incarnate in a new body of her own, because it has just become too dense, too toxic, too hard for her to exist here. So it's her soul contract as a planet, divine magic, to incarnate into another young, incredible, healthy, vibrant planet for her soul to then carry on. As her guests, we are getting to piggyback and ride the tide and go with her to the new earth. This is a belief system that rings more true to me than anything else, but I'm also perfectly, wonderfully fine with this world just shifting into higher consciousness and free energy and healthcare and education, and everybody fed and clothed and protected and nurtured. But it's harder for me to believe that, unfortunately, than it is that those of us who are consciously ready to to live 5D, to live in love, to live in Christ consciousness, to unify and to live in with integrity, as though every thought could be read and you will never have anything to hide from one another, because there are no secret agendas and no lower vibrations and nothing outside of respect, mutual respect and love and caring. Got me emotional. That's who is shifting to 5D. And does that mean some people will be left behind to live out their soul contracts of whatever it is? Yes, it does. But infinitely speaking, we have all arrived and departed out of each other's experiences many times because we are infinite. But there has been ascended masters throughout history on Earth, like 16, including Yeshua, or whom you refer to as Jesus, that were supposedly born of the Virgin around winter solstice. And that's because of the alignment that takes place that provides light codes necessary for those higher vibratory ships and beings and species to intermingle or coexist, for those situations to have occurred. Hence the shift on the solar flash flare, the shift on our winter equinox. We've talked about this for years and years, and as I said, 2012 was the beginning of that shift. It was the beginning of the end. This is the end, according to research, and it's not the least bit scary. It's a little sad because you want everybody to wake up and be a part of that party. And I hope that millions, if not billions, do wake up and join by the end of the year, so they can either shift consciously into a better paradigm or shift to another planet if that's what's in the cards for us. I have released about 90% of my earthly possessions, not by my choosing in some ways. And then it just kind of got to the point where the release it's so much easier to say goodbye knowing I may not even have a backpack of my stuff. I just want my dog. But I firmly believe this is not dogmatic. There's nothing religious. There is no rules about it. It is where you are vibrationally. Or do you live in fear or do you live in love? And that is the only difference between the asleep and the awakened. And all we can do between now and then is spread our love and hope that ignites that spark within others that aren't quite there yet. And that's the only responsibility we have, is just don't spread fear, spread hope, spread love. That's it. Everybody has their individual soul contracts and things will play out as they do. I like to use the reference of, we love going to theme parks as entertainment. We love the roller coasters and haunted houses. And that would be the microcosm of the macrocosm. So we come to this 3D reality theme park and ride the rides. And we had plans prior to getting to the park of some of the rides we definitely wanted to experience. And just as we expected there to be somebody to build the ride and run the ride and keep the ride up, we have soul contracts here on Earth with people that we have experienced things with, what we refer to as good and bad, or blessed and hard, nightmarish or beautiful, love and hate. These are all soul contracts that we pre-orchestrated before incarnating here. And then we forget. That's the veil. But we chose to forget, because it wouldn't be an experience if we knew the whole time what we were doing, what we were facing. Unlike going to the theme park, you're going to the theme park. Here, the remembering, the awakening is remembering you chose this. And there are no victims. And we're all in this together. And no matter how alone you are or what a hermit you are, and I am a serious hermit, I do enjoy my brief encounters with other humans here and there, but for the most part, my sanity is at home with my little dog. Art, music, and nature, gardening. But at the end of this, okay, this is what I just pulled: the High Priest and the Tower. Your guides are with you. Be open to the new. See with nonconformity. See through your third eye. Be free within the universal flow. And then the Tower. Out with the old and moving on. Trust that it's good. I mean, pretty cool. That sums up. And we are talking weeks. 5 weeks till winter solstice. Weeks away from either me being certifiable, which is totally fine, or life will never, ever be even resemble the way we've known it to be in our lifetimes. So I've been listening to QHHT channelings that connected back to Dolores Cannon and Edgar Cayce and maybe even Nostradamus, where they put themselves in a headspace to contact what they refer to as a subconscious or a higher consciousness of themselves, or even other beings, past life regression, because time is not a construct the way that we deem it to be here on the 3D reality. You can see it all when you step outside of this and this 3D limitation. So what's fascinating is these channelings. It's called quantum healing hypnosis technique, or quantum hypnosis healing technique. Practitioners from all over the world started noticing this year that all these different people who had nothing to do with one another were all starting to tell the same or very similar, like 85% across the board. They're in touch with galactic beings. They're their galactic family who they've known for what we would call thousands of years, because time is different. And that they're here. They are here. The universe is watching and waiting, exhilarated to see humanity finally raise their consciousness enough for us to join our galactic families. And some of us will be returning home, wherever that is for the individual. And many of us, many of us will be going to the new earth, is my belief. I'm open to that being here and things healing, but I believe it is elsewhere. Protection. We are being protected. And our loved ones, our possessions are safe and protected by heaven. So we are going to a dimension where manifestation is not restricted the way it is here. And Earth was designed to be this place of coexistence with multiple races and beings from all over the universe, multiple flora and fauna, etc. And then eons ago, and of course it depends on your history and what you resonate with, but it could go all the way back to the Anunnaki and the two brothers and their return right now. If you hear or Google it, they're supposedly around. And whether that's true or not, I totally felt benevolence in my soul thinking about their return. It's been 480,000 years or something crazy. So I'm certain they've also evolved. And, maybe they're here for their comeuppance to help instead of that separation and that ignorance that created mystery schools and instilled limitation that we're here just to farm gold, or whatever your belief is, however far back it goes. There was a time, even if you just want to go as far back as Constantine, separating all the Dead Sea Scrolls to create the Bible in Christianity, when paganism and Hermeticism and all that were a very feminine. And then when they took over, Constantine took over with the Council of Nicaea and created the Bible and instilled fear and religion and taxes and control. And, if you were a heretic, you were burnt at the stake or whatnot. The Knights Templar, all that. There was a time where we took humanity out of its self-empowerment, knowing they were special, and connected straight to source, to absolute fear and restriction and limitation. And we're leaving that. We're leaving that now. 5D is about remembering your incredible connectedness to all that is, your connection to source and all the many layers of self and aspects of others that are between us and the one. But it is essentially all one. It's just too much to grasp. Even though I can with the words I see, and I'm like, yeah, I can see that. I don't really grasp the wowness of it yet, but I'm working on it. Okay. This is definitely about the healing heart. This is definitely about learning or remembering or returning to a place of love and leaving the fear. Weight was inverted because the weight is nearly up. 5 weeks. Morning affirmations, keeping yourself into a high vibrational state and letting yourself receive. Again, knowing you're worthy, knowing that you are benevolent as well. And of course, your family's going to come welcome you home when you wake up from the deep, dark hole that you crawled into. Us as a society, as a human race. So many indigenous cultures didn't follow suit. And that's, of course, why civilizations who were not so civilized deemed them to be savages, because they didn't they didn't succumb to the fear and the law and the nonsense that separated us from our creator, our oneness, or our connectivity to each other. So not everybody on the earth had to deal with this. And those races, those civilizations, are definitely, we're going to join them. We're going to know each other. We're going to see and coexist without all this programming of the matrix that has been instilled in us since birth in polite society. All those ties are just gonna dissipate, and we're gonna remember our oneness, remember who we are, remember our connectedness. And it's a beautiful thing, and I'm not the least bit afraid. And those who will stay behind, they have their own journey, their own path. Oh, I got the Ace of Cups. And I'm not going to fear for them, because there's no punishment with source. There is actually an indigenous tribe that I need to look up. But when one member of the tribe falls out of the connectivity and does a crime or hurts someone in their tribe, they sit that person in front of everyone in the tribe, and the tribe spends days telling them how much they love them and how important they are and how they are cared for and how connected they are and how much a part of they are, until the person remembers their connectivity and reunites with the tribe. That's the way they deal with crime. I believe that is definitely an ascended and evolved way that would exemplify how we deal with people here on earth who have screwed up, crimes against humanity kind of people. I think they will recycle, and they will have reflection time, and they will either go back to source and disperse as a completely new essence, or they will understand what they had done and experience what they had done in their time away from the rest of us who are definitely evolving and ascending into 5D. And we will again know each other. Most of us will all know each other again. It's infinite and vast beyond comprehension. And so, of course, we have no actual idea sitting here in the 3D who we will remain in contact with. And it hurts to think it may not be my boyfriend or my neighbor. But this is just like a glimmer or a dream in comparison to our infinite existence. And we have galactic family that we have known for thousands of years prior to incarnating here for this experience, for this ride or this visit to the theme park, that are waiting for us and can't wait for us to return. So like I said, some will be returning to their home, their planet, whatever it is, but many, many, many of us are going, and we're going to be the ancient builder race of a new earth, a Nova Gaia. And that makes me just as excited as winning the lottery, more excited, because I believe I can barely drive around town anymore because of the homeless people and seeing the suffering and I can't even get in my car without crying. We should have never been in a world that people were not sheltered and fed and properly cared for. It's not okay. And I need this to be real, that we are going somewhere where that would never happen. That everybody is loved and cared for and feels completely accepted and part of the group, because we're a big group. Anyway, I haven't read in a very long time. I've been doing a lot of inner work, and yesterday I felt compelled I needed to start doing these videos, whether I'm doing card readings or just chit-chatting about my journey along the way, because the closer it gets, 5 weeks, we will find out if I need to go to a loony farm or if the world is really changing. And from what I understand, this earth will be a soulless shell of a planet after Gaia leaves in December, if that is the reality. And it won't be long before she's gone, even with the people who are left here that refuse to do their inner work and refuse to live in love instead of fear, and the people who demand their greed and their ownership and don't care about other people as much as they do collecting things. They will be here for the end of the earth. Many are checking out. They've checked out with the virus. Many have checked out with the fires and the floods and the hurricanes. The Three Gorges Dam looks like it's going to break any day now, and that would literally take millions of people within a matter of days. There are soul contracts of people here who are wanting to check out now, prior to the shift. One of the QHHT channelings I listened to, they were talking about how so many people in China had agreed and are welcoming that dam breaking. 60 million? It was an ungodly amount of people, a high number of human beings who have been suppressed so much by their government that their very being on this planet holds the vibration down. And that is so harsh. But on a scientific level, discussing energy frequencies, I could see that, and that they're totally happy to check out. The QHHT channel said that they will not experience drowning. They will have already left their bodies prior to their body passing that way. And, I can only hope that is true. But the very shift of 60 million people being suppressed energetically, leaving within a matter of days, would bring the earth to such a higher vibratory state that if we're sitting at 51% versus 49 negativity right now, that would shoot us up to 60 or 70%. And I know that sounds callous and harsh, but I'm very big picture looking at this situation, because it could very well be me there. I'm in line with Yellowstone erupting. It's total plausibility. I saw some diagrams just a few days ago of how much activity is going on there, and there's always activity there, but there is some activity going on there. And then the possible tsunami coming off of Alaska. And I'm not doomsdayer, Freaky Friday, oh my God, it's the end of the world. But, oh my God, it's the end of the world. is a possibility right now. And I can't help but be excited about it, because we've all arrived and departed many times. And this is just another one of those times. But in this important shift, we are taking hundreds of thousands of years of a race on a planet and uplifting them into a completely new energetic experience of no restrictions, no illness, no taxes, no rent. It's a place of deliberate creation and freedom and integrity and honesty and love and compassion. And I can't help but hold on to that hope for all of us to experience. I'm ready for it. Anyway, thanks for hanging out. Check back in a couple days if you're interested in this. And until then.